In reviewing probability, there are some important facts about probability which we need to note. The first one is that all probabilities are between 0 and 1, which means that probabilities are in form of fractions. And these fractions are proper fractions. Secondly, the higher the probability of something, the more likely it is. And vice versa. The lower the probability of something, say, occurring, the less likely it will occur. And the third one is that a probability of 0 means it will never happen. A probability of 0 means it will never happen. And while the probability of 1 means that it definitely must happen. It must happen. So probability, as we said, is between 0 and 1. And in using the formula for that, we can say probability is defined as number of ways for something to happen or occur all over the total number of possible outcomes. You say probability can be defined as number of ways for something to happen or occur all over the total number of possible outcomes. Like we said, the probability can mean the number of required outcomes all over total number of possible outcomes. Now, the total number of possible outcomes is what we call the sample space, the population of what you are considering. Let's say that in a class now we have 20 students. 20 students that are made up of boys and girls. Now maybe we have 8 girls and 12 boys in a class. This is the sample space. The total number of outcomes or possible outcomes there, the total population you have there is what? 20. So this is a sample space. Now, here is the sample space. Total number of students is a sample space. When we now talk about probability of getting a boy from that class, we now have probability of getting a boy. We now be, how many boys do we have here? 12. All over sample space, 20. And when you are working on probability, you reduce your answer to the lowest term. 4 goes here to give us 3. 4 goes here to give us 5. So you see it now? So when you talk about probability, it is always a fraction. You can reduce this into decimal to give us what? 0.6. You can make it in percentage by multiplying by 100 to give us 60%. That's why we say probabilities can be in fraction, decimal, or percentages. A die has 6 faces, numbered 1 to 6. On a single triple of the die, find the probability of getting the number 6, getting the number 10, getting the not getting the number 6, and getting any of the numbers.
Yeah.
In the first one, we know that what? A die has 6 faces. Good. And the 6 faces, the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is what we call the sample space. Sample space. The 6 faces of a die, this is what we call the sample space. So the number of sample space is 6. Now, probability of getting the number 6. We have only one 6. We have only one 6, which is what? 1, the number of 6 all over the total number, which is 6. Now, in the second one, probability of getting the number 10. If you check inside this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there is no place you can see or find 10. So it will be no 10 there, 0, all over the total number 6, which will give us 0. Now, the probability of not getting the number 6. If you don't want to get this one, which means that you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 5 over 6. If you don't want to do it this way, if you don't want to,
how did you do it?
You can say 1 minus probability of getting a 6. And probability of getting a 6 is 1 minus 1 over 6, because this is probability of getting a 6. So probability of getting a number that is not what 6 can be either this, or this, which means we have 5 options out of 6. So that's why we have this. And if you do it this way, 1 minus probability of getting a 6, you get 1 minus 1 over 6, that will give us 5 over 6, which is same thing as what we have there. Now, probability of getting any of the numbers. How many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any of them means that what? We are sure of getting one number. So it will be 6 over 6, which is 1. That is this is the answer to the question. There are 6 red balls and 9 blue balls in a box. Obi picks a ball at random. Find the probability that the ball is A, red, B, blue, C, red or blue, D, yellow. Let's do it. Now, we know that there are 6 red and 9 blue. So the total will be what? 15. Red is what? 6. And blue is how many? 9 in number. So we have that. For you to get the probability of getting the red, number of red all over to number. And it is not good to leave probability like this. You reduce it to the lowest 10. 3 goes here to give us 2. 3 goes here to give us 5. This is for the first one. Now, the second one says probability of picking a blue ball. How many blue do we have? 9. 9 blues over 15. We are going to reduce it because something is common there. 3 goes here is 3. 3 goes here is what? 5. And now the second one says probability of picking a red or a blue, which means any of them can be picked, which is 1. So how do you get the 1? The probability of picking a red is 2 over 5. Plus, okay, probability of picking a blue is 3 over 5. It will be 5/5, which is 1. This is the probability of picking either red or blue. In the next one, if you check in that bag that balls, there is no yellow ball. Since there is no yellow ball, number of yellow is 0, all over 15 to give us 0. So that is the way how to solve questions on probability.
Okay, Uncle. Uncle, please let me just copy it down. I understand it now.
Okay. In our assignment, it said a packet of sweets contains 15 red sweets, 8 green sweets, 7 yellow sweets. I pick a sweet at random. What is the probability that it is red, yellow, either green or yellow, and white? Thank you so much for being part of today's class. We appreciate you for joining us. Thank you.
Okay.